visual. It was 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end. At the deep end, it was 9. But in spite of all, YMCA pool was safe. The story starts when the writer William O. Douglas with his father to the California beach, where where uh, in surf get bought by the sea. But at the same time, the sharp, the waves of the sea came and swam across the writer and his father. The writer, only the sensation in his mind was indicating that he was alive. And after all, it was a horrifying experience of a deep water. And somehow the writer escaped from drowning and found himself helpless. At the same time, he realized that how terrified the experience of deep water was. And at the second juncture, whenever he tried to go in deep water, he always avoided to go in deep because of this fear. And after all, he decided to overcome of his fear of deep water. He got an instructor who taught him every possible way to teach this kind of swimming. And finally, he learned swimming by the instructor who taught him first into parts and then a different ways how to excel and how to excel in the water by different types of ways. And after that, the writer practiced for a month, for a weeks, and after the constant learning, he went to the dangerous rocks and jumped from there into fluent water. And finally, after a positive approach in his mind, he succeeded to overcome the fear of deep water. And now the conclusion is there that as far as there is a statement by American President Roosevelt who declared that the fear of death in itself, as death is not so fearful as it's. Because of this fear, the writer was afraid of deep water. And once again, the same thing going to happen when he was alone at the YMCA pool. At the same time, a young man came there and tossed him up and threw into the pool, where he went into sitting position. He got afraid, but was not so much afraid that he forgot his strategy. Finally, he remembered the strategy when he reached the bottom to spring from there, come on the surface like a car. He went straight into the sitting position, and when he reached the bottom, he tried to use his strategy to jump from there. Once he came upon the surface, and the next time he tried but swallowed water. And after many attempts and exertion, he felt tired. And within few minutes, within few time, he got so much tired that his arms and legs felt paralyzed. And finally, he felt the situation like intoxication. He was so much exhausted that he was unable to attempt any more. And finally, he felt the tender hurts like her mother, and there was no need. And Eloise was casting on his face, and he was crossing oblivion, the situation like just like a intoxication. And after that, he completely forgot what was going to happen. Only the dear students, let us join next session once again